Welcome to another episode of the Mixtape Matinee Podcast. I'm your host Cole, and today I'm kind of flying solo. Court's not here. I'm down in Utah, but today I'm honored to have my good friends Isaac and Jerik on the podcast. Welcome on, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. We're hanging out in China Blue, the China Blue House in Salt Lake City, and you guys, for people that don't know, you are in the band Sleep Cold and Porq, and also Mr. Happy.
Yeah.
Isaac, that's your kind of solo thing. But I know we've talked before about this, but just for the listeners that don't know, you guys met in high school. Is that right?
Yeah. We met in high school, as well as like the bass player for Sleep Cold. But me and Jerik really like actually hung out in high school.
Yeah.
And then, just started playing music when we were like 18, 19, and then.
And what were some of the first bands that you formed?
Sleep Cold.
Yeah, Sleep Cold
Was that
like,
the first one?
But we've had like 3 different versions.
The first one
okay.
was called Camper Days, and it was pretty like indie rock. And Jerik's at the time girlfriend Jerik's ex was the singer.
Oh, really?
And that one was interesting because I was on bass, Jerik was on drums, and I think Dom played guitar and Bryson played guitar. And then the girl was the singer, and then I think eventually that dissolved. So I think it was just like Bryson lived up in Salt Lake and we were all down in Utah County, so like it was hard to meet up all the time. And then eventually me and Jerik formed Sleep Cold with another guy, and it was definitely different than what it is now, but it was like pretty psych rock, honestly pretty like proggy too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had like odd time signatures and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool.
It was because the guitar player, that was his thing.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do, but we wanted to go in a louder direction, and he didn't want to.
Yeah.
So we ended up
like showing him like, I think, what was that one band, Mother's Cake or something like that? Something like that. But we showed him this one band, and he was like, "Oh, so you guys like the heavy stuff?"
It was not even a heavy band.
Yeah,
really.
it wasn't. It's like pretty psych rock, and he's
I
just
don't
like,
know.
yeah.
So anyway, it just kind of morphed, and then it became Sleep Cold.
Yeah,
like
and then
what it is
eventually, like,
today.
he left. That guy left, like, a bunch of times, and he kept, like, leaving the band, and then, like, being like, okay, let's do it again. And then I think eventually we added Bryson as a rhythm guitarist.
Okay.
And then I could tell, like, he didn't really like that, and then Jerik finally was just like, dude, you know what, we're going to start our own thing.
Yeah.
And so then we hit up Dom again, who was in, like, that first band, the Camper Days band.
Yeah.
And then we just, like, I was lead guitar, Bryson was rhythm. And then on top of that, like, while we were doing that band, me and Bryson would always just, like, acoustically write songs together. So that became sort of the basis for, like, Sleep Cold, was just that simple, like, lead guitar rhythm. Like, you know, pretty
We're lucky
straightforward.
that we're very close, or have become very close, and that's keeping our band together.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I don't know, we're doing a lot of different shit now, but like we started with Sleep Cold, and we had no clue about anything in the scene. We had to like just kind of shove our way in.
Yeah.
Because we didn't grow up in it.
Yeah,
Or
we've learned a lot recently.
Yeah, I
in
mean-
the past, like, 5 years.
And then with Porq, you eventually just hooked up with Andy, right?
Yeah.
And then how did that all form? And
So Sleep Cold did a tour with Old Face Magenta, and then when we got pretty close and also I was recording Old Face Magenta, so like I got pretty close with all of those guys. And then after tour we were just hanging out, and I think I asked Jerik and Andy to be my Mr. Happy band for my solo project. And then I remember one day we were listening to, like, I think it was Coachwhips, and it was just like that sort of like boom ka boom, like straightforward stuff, like stupid simple. So like we went up in the attic and just started jamming, and then that like turned into Porq.
And it was always like you were always just going to do guitar and drums as far as the instrumentation.
It's just easier, you know.
Well, I know, but from the get-go, that was what...
Yeah,
just kind of what happened,
That was
right?
like what I wanted to do. That was
Yeah.
the goal. I didn't
Yeah.
want to have a bass player strictly because I liked the loudness in like the kind of almost heavy treble nature of it, but that's like the goal is to like be annoyingly loud.
Yeah.
You know? And then all of our friends were like making me rage because they were like, you should add bass. no, this is sick, but
I
like
think they
you
just
should
wanna be the
add bass.
player. That's why.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, I don't know, this would just sound better if there was bass, and I would just be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Just get it. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
So what's the? I know you guys are always writing and stuff, but what do you think's going to be coming out soon? Is the Sleep Cult thing going to come out first, or do you
Sleep
think
Cult will
Porq?
probably be first.
Okay.
We're doing some. We just need to do some vocal takes, but we have all the instrumentals done.
Sweet.
I think we're gonna do some of that today, but we'll see.
Okay. And then Porq, you guys have things.
We're in the writing process
Right,
right
you
now.
have
We're
like-
trying to come up with new stuff.
We have like 3
Yeah.
new songs,
Yeah.
and it's different.
How so?
Like,
They're a lot slower.
I
They're
wouldn't
not
say
slower,
that.
but like I think we're at least from the drumming standpoint. I feel like I'm not trying to just like go as fast as I can.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
not
I'm
we're not
trying to think
hauling
about it
ass.
more.
with this
Yeah.
album. It's
To give Andy a break. I know that was a big thing. At least that's what Andy was joking about.
yeah, it's
But
like we're just trying to, at least me, because
Yeah.
I'm the only instrument like a stringed instrument.
Right. Yeah.
So I have to like bring it to the table, like something interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's been challenging me recently, and like I've been trying to write in a way that's like uncomfortable for me, or like
Like different.
I'm just not
tunings,
trying
or-
to. We're still hauling ass on
Yeah.
some songs, but because that's what Porq is, you know.
Yeah.
It's got to stay rowdy, but
Mm-hmm.
just trying to branch out from the bonehead, like just like fast and loud, and
Yeah.
I love it. Like I'll never.
Yeah,
not
it's
like
definitely
it.
still like like our element, like just the
But I'm just trying to make it something interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you keeping same tunings, or are you trying different guitar tunings?
I'm
or-
only doing standard.
Cool.
for Porq,
awesome.
and I'm trying to like do weird stuff in standard.
In standard.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I try to do that too. All my songs are mostly standard too, and it's a challenge. So,
Yeah.
But one of the guitar players, I don't know if you've ever heard of METZ, but
Yeah.
they're a noise rock band, and
Yeah.
he plays in standard, but he does like just these weird, like he
Yeah.
makes up his own kind of chord,
That's
like just
awesome.
like fingerings and
feel
stuff,
like
and
that's
it's
what I
really
do.
I'm
really
bummed Mets
interesting.
broke up.
Yeah,
Me too.
I don't. As far as music theory, I'm a novice. But
Yeah.
I know what sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I'm in the same boat.
I just put
so-
my hand places, or then I hum it in my head, and then try and figure out where it is on the guitar.
Yeah.
I'm by no means
Well-
a professional.
And I know I've said this. I know I've said this before, but no disrespect. But I love the Porq stuff a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear that new stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we invited you guys on today to talk about an album that you picked. Do you want to tell the audience a little bit about it? And I guess like how you discovered it, how you heard it, and all
Isaac
of that.
showed me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So how
it's-
did you discover it?
So the
Isaac?
album is Krang. Is it Krang 2?
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is the name?
It's actually just called Two.
Okay.
Yeah.
The album.
And then the band is Krang, Krang, cap, and then the exclamation point. But yeah, I found them because we're big like Osees fans, and I love listening. Like any musician I'm a fan of, I like listening to like any interview that they've done. Like I like hearing like what their influences were and stuff like that. So I listened to this interview with John Dwyer from the Osees, and they always ask him like, well, what was your first band? And he said his first band was called Krang, with Brian Gibson, who's the bass player for Lightning Bolt, and then Jeffrey Rosenberg, who is
In Pink and Brown.
Pink and Brown, yeah, which is another one of John Dwyer's bands. If any of the listeners don't know, like definitely go check out Pink and Brown. And but yeah, I was just like, what? Like that's a crazy trio of awesome musicians. So then I listened to this album, and it's only available on YouTube. I guess Bandcamp too, but I haven't like if anyone has a vinyl of it, I doubt that even exists. But that would be
Probably
awesome.
a tape somewhere, maybe.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah,
be sick. But yeah, it's just
probably.
I just checked it out and I was like, what? Like 1997?
Yeah.
And it's all this like crazy avant-garde like me that's
It's
one
like
of my favorite
hardcore stuff.
yeah, noise rock, post-hardcore,
Yeah.
like stuff. It's like I'm always amazed at like music that comes out of like the 90s because it's like I feel like everyone was really going for it at that
Yeah.
time. You
Also,
know?
if you were being weird, you were really being weird. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously like we weren't alive during that time, so
Yeah.
I don't know, but like just everything I've heard that comes out of like that era, I'm
I
just
can
like,
reminisce for a time I wasn't a part of.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love listening to like old albums and hearing some like have you ever heard of the band Gertie Farish?
I haven't.
I think
no.
it's called. Yeah, Gertie Farish. It's like I think it's on Bandcamp. You can find it, but it's from like '96 or something like that. Maybe earlier than that, but it's in the '90s. But it's like total like egg punk, like total like, and it was like it's the earliest I've seen of like that specific sound with like the electronic drums, and stuff like that. And also this Krang album. There's like one song on there. Which one is it? Delicate Skin of Babies. That's the like really long one. And
it has a really long intro.
The second half of it is like, in my mind, like total. It goes from like a little egg punk bit to like a noise rock thing, and then back to egg punk. And I was like, whoa, like I love like just seeing like how early you can find that sound. You know?
Yeah, that's super cool. So. Yeah, like you mentioned, there is one other person too, though, in the band. His name is Joshua Webb. He's the drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was also in a band called Difference Engine and Magic Shop.
Okay.
I haven't looked up the music, but if you're interested, go check those out. But like Isaac said, this album was released in February of 1997 and recorded in Providence, Rhode Island, where the band was formed. When you looked at the album cover, did you realize that is a poster for a show?
Yeah.
So I looked up I don't know all the bands, but on it says Fuck Standard, Let's Go, Come On, and then their band, and then Hellbender. And they played, let's see, at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday, and it was $4 to get into the show. And it was at Fort Thunder, which... I didn't know about this, but I looked it up.
Spot.
Yeah, Fort Thunder is like legendary.
Legendary warehouse place that was owned by Brian Chippendale of Lightning Bolt. I had no idea that was a thing.
John Dwyer lived there.
Did he?
Probably when they were recording this album, I would imagine. But yeah, he lived there. It was just like a warehouse. I've heard like interviews where they talk about it, and Chippendale is like, it's like he was like borderline dangerous. Like it was just like a random like empty abandoned warehouse, and everyone was just like essentially building their own rooms. Like they would just take like one of the rooms in the warehouse and then just like make it their own. And they would do shows there.
Yeah. That's just cool that $4 show. I was like, man, what would
and that's like the name.
What would that have been like?
That's like where the name Lightning.
We can still do that.
Yeah, for real. It's like that's where the name Lightning Bolt, because Fort Thunder, Lightning Bolt, like that's the whole.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
that
was the whole sort of idea.
I also saw that Fort Thunder is it's kind of mentioned in this documentary called Secret Mall Apartment. Have you guys heard of that?
I've not. No.
It's a documentary that came out last year, and it tells the story of some guys that broke into the Providence shopping mall, and they lived there for 4 years.
Oh, yes. Okay, I have heard of this.
They kind of set up, kind of similar to what you said. They set up like little rooms in the mall,
and
no one knew that they were just squatting there. So
and they were there for like quite a while, weren't they? Wasn't it like a matter of years or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. Anyway, I need to watch
4
it.
Years,
I need to watch it because it sounds like an interesting documentary.
That's funny. So, I have heard of that. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's kind of that. Anyway, really awesome. So yeah, for this episode, I asked you guys to pick your 3 favorite tracks from the album. Let's start with you, Isaac. What are your 3 favorites from the album?
I mean, I think me and Jerik are pretty. Like we probably have the same.
Well, what are your 3?
I'm thinking definitely the second half of Delicate Skin of Babes. I really love that one, going from the egg punk to the like sort of noisy thing. Yeah, and then like back to. I love that. I love like a lot of like jumping back and forth between certain like essentially like genres in like one song. I think that's really cool. Stilt House is like kind of also like that, just like the Buddha, 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 and it's very just like you can bob your head to it, and then it gets to like an awkward, like sort of noisy thing, and then it goes right back to like the bob your head thing. Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, and then probably Rigor Mortis. House, Rigor Mortis, and the second half of Delicate Skin of Babies. I really like those.
Those are all good choices. Jerik, what did you pick?
Wet Lips Disco. Balthazar. Rigor Mortis.
Wet Lips is that funny little just like instrumental song on the album.
Yeah, but that's the one I find myself like rewinding the most because it's so short. I don't know. It's just a perfect little treat in the album, and it's just so funky. It goes from like a dance beat to like just a nice 4/4 groove. Mm-hmm. That's I don't know. It's just a perfect addition to the album, and it's incredibly catchy. And it's a shame that it's only 40 seconds. Yeah, I could listen to that repeat itself over and over. But that's like, I would say, my favorite track.
My 3 favorite, I really like The Big Headache. I like that song a lot. I like, we were just listening to it before we recorded, but that kind of tapping thing that they do on the guitar part, that thing's really cool. Yeah. And then, man, it's so hard. I think Balthazar, man, I can't pronounce that. Balthazar is really cool. Really catchy, and then Rigor Mortis. That's what I would say. And when we were re-listening to it, I was thinking about the beat on Rigor Mortis, and to me, it sounds like the most like what the Osees would become. Just that drum beat for some reason just screams like the Osees a lot to me.
Yeah, you can hear like, the precursor to that.
Yeah, the precursor to it on this for sure. And then I don't know if you guys thought this, but when I was listening to the track "You Are a Function of Your Work," I was thinking of Eli. I was just thinking like this just sounds like stuff that Eli makes almost.
Tate said.
Yeah, like that specific song, or just the whole
just
album.
Like a lot of it. He was like, "Dude, this is Eli."
That's what I thought the first time I heard that, and then I asked Eli from Olympic Death. Those who don't know, go listen to Olympic Death.
And you can go back and listen to the episode that we interviewed Eli.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
He's been on the pod. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. He. I remember telling him about this album, and I was hammered, so like he didn't really listen to me. But I remember like he didn't know what it was.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's crazy. Like this, it's right up his alley.
Yeah, it's definitely the guitar tones, like we were just talking about, like that detuned kind of thing on, was it Stilt House?
Yeah,
or that.
It's very high-endy, trebly, and like the strings almost sound like they're too loose. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense to me. And then I also like how
it's a very like wiry single coils.
Yeah, but I love it. It like tickles my brain.
And I like how like, and the vocals are very similar to how Eli does it. Like the vocals from Jeff are just very they're kind of what's the word, falsetto-y almost in some parts. That's kind of what Eli does. Yeah. But and then they use like very catchy melodic lines. Anyway,
it's great. I love like that balance between doing something that's so weird but still making it catchy. I've heard
it's a talent.
Yeah, I've heard John Dwyer talk about that in like other interviews, and I love that aesthetic where it's like trying to ride the line between weird and like not like digestible, but just like like melodic and catchy, like something like that, but like still adding
weird like U.S. maple weird.
Yeah. There's like a spectrum to it, and if you could find like that middle ground, I think that's really cool. And this album does that like really well.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you guys showed this to me. It's like you said, it's kind of funny. You find like these little nuggets, like like back in the '90s, of like things that maybe didn't really get big for whatever reason, but like in their scene, they were probably huge.
Yeah.
This is a band that I wish I could see live.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
I've heard stories about the drummer for Kill Alters. He used to be in Lightning Bolt as like, I think just a noise, or I think he was like a vocal. I can't remember what he did in the band, but he was the only person other than Brian Gibson and Brian Chippendale to be in Lightning Bolt. And I've listened to this interview of him, and he was talking about the Providence scene in the 90s, and he's saying like they did these like marching band things. Like they would all the musicians would sort of just like gather and like grab any instrument and just walk down the street. Like everyone would dress up, and like it was just such like a weird, beautiful like thing. I was like, man, like that's missing today. You know, like people don't like to tap into the weirdnesses. But like I was telling you about DMBQ.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't seen a lot of bands that have grossed me out, you know, and I want to see more of that. I've like in my time, like I've only seen like 2 that have.
Yeah. Well, you gotta be a cool guy, okay? Everyone needs to be a cool guy.
Yeah, I think people are like, and I get it. Like everyone's like or worried about embarrassing themselves. But like you gotta
embrace it.
You gotta go crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's why I always love when I see, like, especially new bands in Salt Lake City, if it looks like they're going outside the box a little bit, or
then I'm
just all there for it.
Yeah,
like I just
like
I support bands like, oh my god.
Yeah, we just saw Youch last night.
We just played that with Youch last night, and I love those guys. They are hilarious. The Andy, the drummer, is incredibly weird, and Andy, if you're listening, it's not a bad thing.
No, yeah.
You're just weird in the best way possible. You guys crack me up, and they're honestly one of my favorite bands.
He was
Salt
passed
Lake.
out in the chair upstairs. He thought his ride left him. I was like, just lay on the couch.
Yeah, that was fun. Also, I didn't realize, but I don't know if you guys realized it either, but Krang is actually shortened. The actual name of the band is called Tar-Aiym. Krang, I think that's how you pronounce it, but that's actually a book. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Sci-fi book. So have you ever read it?
I knew that.
I just remember looking up the band, and then the book popped up, and then. So other than that, no, I don't know.
The book is I haven't read it, but I looked up kind of like the synopsis of it. It's about this young boy that has like a dragon, and this is in like the future. He's got like a small pet dragon, and they find like this map that. Anyway, he's got like telepathic powers, and it like leads him to like this secret place to like, and it like he kind of discovers why he has these special abilities, and
that's
so
what
it's almost like
dude.
it's like sci-fi, but then like fantasy, like the dragon and stuff.
That sounds very like the Osees realm.
I know,
like they have a lot of like orcs kind of, you know what I mean, like sort of like a lot of like fairy tale
D&D
fantasy
stuff.
Yeah.
When we were, I guess one last thing is when we were looking up the kind of the titles of the songs. So the first song is actually Spanish for "I Can Dance Like There's No Tomorrow." I think that's so funny. Also, that's a great album opener too.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is hard. Like when we do these album episodes, it's hard to pick 3 songs, especially like an album like as cool as this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say to any listener, like definitely don't just listen to those songs that we said. Like you have to listen to the whole.
Go listen to the whole thing.
I cried on this album.
What's that?
I cried.
Oh yeah, tell the story about, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Tell the story.
I don't know, when I first heard this, Isaac showed me, and we were like 6 beers deep, I think. And so, you know, this is right up my alley from the beginning. And like every song had me like gripped, and so that in itself just like moved me. And then we got to Rigor Mortis, I think, which is one of my favorites on the album, and it's the second to last one, and there was something about it that hit like a part in my soul where I just like couldn't help, but I was just like tearing up.
It's like, it's something like you wish you could come up with.
Like something I've been looking for all my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like my shit. This album is just a roller coaster of like everything I like.
Yeah.
Or everything, like if you like noise, if you like just groovy beats, like weird time signatures, twangy guitar, a bunch of melody. Like there's everything you could want, honestly.
Yeah, and like I was saying with that one track, it's like there's like a bit of egg punk in it too. Like only for like one song, like half of the song, but like still, it's like it's in there, and you hear it, and you're like, wow, like that's like shit I hear today, but like.
Yeah,
you know, it's all just like shoved into this small album.
I remember
anybody listening, crush a 6-pack, smoke a bowl, and listen to the whole thing.
That's the only way you do that. Don't condone drug use.
I do.
That's cool. That's cool that you had that emotional response to it, though, Jerik. That's cool.
Yeah.
The one thing I did notice, and this is kind of nitpicky, but I feel like some of the mixing on it, the guitars sometimes are a little too loud, and I wish the drums were a little louder. But
yeah, true.
But other than that, it's an awesome album.
Yeah.
And I love it. So everyone go check this album out and let us know what you think. Thanks for the rec, guys. So
Dude, awesome.
I had the task of trying to figure out what album do I pair with this amazing one that you guys picked. So I did some Google searches, and I kind of was looking through like a lot of different like bands. I wanted to pick like a band that was kind of contemporary, like the same time as them.
Oh, yeah.
And so I stumbled upon this album that I picked. It's a band called Colossamite, and this is their album Economy of Motion. And this came out and I think I told you wrong, Jerik. It came out in October 20th of 1998. So this came out a year after Krang came out.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this album, so this is a band that formed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the lineup is John Dietrich and Ed Rodriguez of Deerhoof.
Oh, really?
This was their band before they formed Deerhoof.
Who is he? One of the guitar players?
So they're both the guitar players in Deerhoof, and they're both the guitar players in this band. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like we got John from the Osees, and now we have Deerhoof.
Dude,
you know, they both got pretty big, and I thought this was perfect because these are like both of their precursor albums.
That's amazing.
So and then you also have Chad Popel, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's on drums, and then you have Nick Sakes on guitars as well, and he's the vocalist. And Nick is from the band Dazzling Killman. Have you guys heard of those guys?
I don't think so.
Okay, they're really cool. I like them a lot. They're a math rock band from St. Louis around this same time period. I think they might have formed after this album came out. So check that out. They do have some of the tracks they have feature a sax player and a trumpet player, but it's not all of them. Anyway, kind of cool. Super
26 tracks on this album.
What's that?
There's like 26.
There's 26 tracks on it. Yeah. And it's an amazing album. A lot of people basically say that it's Dazzling Killman, but just more dissonant and super noisy.
Oh.
So, which it really is.
Dude, Dazzling Killman just came out with an album this year.
Oh, did they? I didn't even know that.
I was looking at that. 2025. That's wild.
So
and then their last album was in 2007.
I didn't know that either. Dang.
That's cool. I want to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Their little blurb on Bandcamp for this album says a meeting ground of hardcore noise improvisation, Black Flag versus This Heat. Arpeggiated burden with thoughts of a bit of honey, the most Killman-ish of the post DK bands. This one sports the members of Iceburn and Gorge Trio, which I didn't realize, but Gorge Trio was another band that those two guitar players formed as well. So,
oh, really?
If you like Deerhoof and this, go check
yeah.
out that band as well, because I guess they also formed that band.
That's
I don't know
awesome.
how long.
I love Deerhoof.
Yeah, and the guitar work in this is crazy. Also, I just find it interesting that they don't have a bass player on this album. It's 3 guitars and a drummer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it's this album's super chaotic, but also really, really good. I like it a lot. I wouldn't say it doesn't have as catchy of tunes as the other one that we paired, but
it's a little more on the weirder spectrum.
It's on the weirder spectrum and way more noisy and dissonant, I would say. but still in the same vein. My 3 favorite tracks from this album is the first one, The Hot House. I really like they have like this really blown out distortion that they put on his vocals, and this is like the only song that they do that on, and it's amazing. And I have no idea how you write songs like this. I mean, if you have 3 electric guitars, you have to make them all be kind of doing something, right? To do something interesting, and that's what they do on this album.
I remember you showed me last night, and I told you it sounds drug induced.
Yeah, that's right. You said it sounds like they're on speed.
Yeah, it just sounds like making stuff like that. You either are like just weird in the head, and are capable of doing that, or you're on a lot of drugs. That's just I feel like there's no in between. You have to either just be a weirdo to make this stuff.
Probably a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. The next song I picked is this song called P Dio.
Make it simple. Like an orange. Not like the toilet. What a breakthrough.
The vocals, just the lyrics are really funny and very humorous. So
So good.
I like it a lot. And then I don't know, it's similar like the other album. It was just so hard to like pick my. I might do an honorable mention, but I think my next favorite would probably have to be the next song, which is Tooth of Da Vinci.
Tasteless Alec! Taste the nuts! Taste the nuts! Taste metallic!
It reminds me a lot of. Do you know the vocal styles, particularly? Do you know Trenchmouth?
I don't know.
So that's Fred Armisen's band when he was
really?
like in the 80s. Like he was in a punk band. He was the drummer, and it's not like this crazy, definitely, but like the vocal style is very similar to Trenchmouth.
I'll have to check that out.
Very
I've
good
never
band.
Never heard of them. Like I said, it's just cool that they wrote this album with 3 guitars.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It makes sense because just the intricacies there in all the songs.
Yeah, because there's always this thing where it's like, well, each instrument, especially with like engineering, like people are like, well, each instrument needs to occupy a certain frequency like range.
You're right.
And then, but yeah, like adding 3 guitars, no bass, it's like you gotta like fit those like in the top end of the frequency range, and then like at the same time they need to be like doing. I mean, it sounds like they're doing different things. Yeah, which just like adds this whole thing.
And then the drumming on it is just awesome too. I love it.
Yeah,
I just like the pace and that it's nonstop. There's no real time to think.
It's like that band Yowie that you showed me.
Oh, yeah. That
They're
crazy math rock band.
Incredible. Yeah, it's just like there's no, like you said, no time to think.
That's
like
exactly right. Their songs just go. Yeah. And that band's also super intricate.
Yeah.
We did mention that this album has 26 tracks on it, but it's actually less than that because there's a section where there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 tracks where it's just almost like a loop, and they're only like 10 seconds long.
Oh, really?
And so it's almost like you're just listening to like a long loop. It's almost like this weird interlude that they put in there.
I noticed
but they split it up as tracks, and they're just called Untitled 1, through, you know, whatever.
Oh, I
which
didn't
is
even
just
notice that.
which
That's
is kind of
cool.
interesting because, well, and we just mentioned like the songs don't have a break, but there is a break in this album, and this is the break. They just have like this really interesting loop where it's actually just kind of one hits with the drums and guitars, and it's
Yeah,
it's
it is on YouTube Music. It says like all of the first, like all the first like actual like songs,
Yeah.
like not the 10-second ones.
Yeah.
Have like 2,000 up to like 10,000 plays, and then as soon as it gets to the untitled, it's like just like a couple hundred.
they probably just skip. Yeah, skip
Yeah,
it.
everyone
But-
just like skips it.
People don't appreciate that little break.
But then there's three. It looks
Yeah.
like there's 3 full songs at the end,
There is, yeah,
which have a little more views than the rest of them. But
yeah. It's just
Interesting,
interesting, like
that's cool.
that they
that
split it up like that, like the pacing of the album itself.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
really
kind of
cool.
really unique. It's as unique as the music on this album.
Yeah, I feel like anybody else would like split those up. Be like, let's do like 2 albums.
or they would just combine that whole thing into one song.
Into one side. Yeah, exactly.
because it's like because they're
It's
not
like
that.
just title it anything.
Yeah, but what's
like-
weird about that? There's nothing weird about that.
Yeah.
Why don't we all make them untitled for
Exactly.
no reason?
Exactly.
It's
So
awesome. Yeah, I love stuff like that.
I think I'm definitely gonna be recommending this one to people a lot. So if you haven't heard this,
so. You
go out and
just
check it
found
out.
this album for this podcast?
yeah, I was just
that's
trying to
awesome.
like I was
Yeah.
just trying to, because I feel like this is like the '90s post-hardcore stuff. I feel like I'm not as well versed. So, and I was trying to. I didn't want to like do one that like people knew about. I wanted to do another underground kind of thing. And so that's how I found this. And then I started listening to it. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the beginning. It's like I feel like there's so many. It's not like just the '90s. Like you could pick
Yeah,
any era,
any
and you could
era.
find hidden gems anywhere. But like it's just so good to like to dive into those. Like, and it's one of those albums, like the Colossamite and the Krang album, are both albums where it's like you're not going to hear about this unless somebody tells you about it. You know?
Yeah, word of mouth.
Exactly.
And
And
that's
so
Or
it's
if
like-
you're a nerd and you look for this kind of
That's
stuff.
true. Yeah.
like me.
Yeah,
I only look for it because you guys inspired me with the Krang album.
yeah.
So that's what kind of makes it.
Which
kinda
is
special.
great. You know, like that's. I think-
It's it's one of those gems you find, and for me, it made me cry. So like, clearly, you know. Oh, and Tate, I was gonna mention earlier when I told Tate about this album.
Tate from Olympic Death.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Tate
Mm-hmm.
he's in every band.
Yeah.
here.
Little Grim.
He does-
We've also had Tate on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh,
so
really?
if you
Okay,
haven't
cool.
listened to it, go back and listen to
Yeah, they're
Tate's episode too.
they're the homies.
Definitely
But
check
Tate told me that he's like, the fact that this album made you tear up, he's like, that's just like proof that you really can make whatever you want and it's gonna move somebody. You know, it's
Yeah.
like that's why I appreciate all the weird albums that are kind of just out there, you know, and like you can appreciate them for what they are if you're like open minded to it and can like, you know, there's a lot of albums I've listened to all the way through that I've decided at the end that I'm like, I hate this.
yeah.
I tried to like it, but I can't, and that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
But
And-
then there's the ones you're like, oh, okay, I
And-
can understand this.
Yeah, and that's the thing with music. There's just so much out there that even like albums that were released back in the late '90s, you can still discover, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Even like,
Yeah.
especially if you're like disillusioned with like music nowadays, you
Yeah.
can go back and find something like amazing like this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like this album inspired me definitely.
Yeah,
as far
and
as
you
guitar
think about like
playing.
the progression of like sort of rock adjacent music in general, and it's like it's only like what 80 years old maybe or something like that, like maybe 1950s is
Yeah.
when like rock and rolls first started, and then like to get from there to like 40 years later, you have shit like Krang and
Colossamite.
Colossamite. Like
Yeah.
it's just like that's such like a advanced jump that it's like I don't know that like you said, there's so much out there,
Yeah.
and it's like it's impossible to consume it all. You need like other people.
That's the best part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like everybody has their own thing, their own like select albums that are their like go to, and then you gotta like ask everybody like what. Like you like when we were driving back from Ogden, you were like put on something like what are you listening to right now?
Yeah.
So I put on
Yeah.
Bygones.
Yeah, and that
yeah.
Zach Hill band, like I
Yeah.
had no idea about that. So
Yeah.
that was cool that you showed me that.
Yeah, and then somebody, showed me that. So it's like it's like this. I don't know. There's too much to consume for any one person.
Definitely. I mean, that's why we do this podcast too, is to let people know about these albums that we talk about. So, but thanks for being on, guys. I really appreciate your friendship, and I also really appreciate your musicianship and songwriting skill. I think you guys are doing cool stuff, and
Thank you.
I'm glad to know you. And people, check out Sleep Cult and Porq. Like, check it out, and Mr. Happy too. If you guys haven't already, I'll link all of your guys' band stuff in the show notes so
Sick.
people can find it and
yeah.
follow you on socials and everything. Yeah.
Porq.
Do you have anything?
Sleep cold.
Do you guys have anything else you want to plug? I mean, other than what I just said, but
We're
come to Slop Fest.
Yeah.
We do it every year.
Slop
It's our
Fest every
festival.
year during the summer.
in Salt Lake City in the summer, yeah.
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 Cool.
We have things we're making. We'll have music coming out.
And you'll be announcing it. So
Yeah, and we're also playing in other projects. And
Jerik just started a new project called Yes Chef, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So that'll be.
it's with my other good friends. Actually, Andy's in the band. He plays drums.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because we all are like, we just want to play everything. So now we have all other bands where we're like, okay, I play guitar in this band, drums in this band.
It's
That's
fun
cool.
having a lot
Yeah.
of talented friends.
It makes me not want to kill my
Yeah.
band members when I have like other things I could do.
Yeah.
And then Isaac, you have a new kind of thing that you're working on, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it Ho Scare, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm trying to
Get that.
I got it. It was like the same thing with Porq, where I had these musicians be my backing band.
Yeah.
And then they just happened to be really good, so now I'm like, fuck, I want to start another. I want to start a new project with them. So, yeah, we have yet to. My drummer broke his hand in that band, so we've yet to like get together and
Yeah.
work on it. But I have a new project cooking
Well,
up.
that's so
in the
exciting.
works.
Thanks again, guys, for being on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
We'll see you guys next time.
I love you.
Love you.